Welcome to this explainer. If you've been sitting there wondering if it's somehow too late to break into the AI space, well, the data tells a completely different story. Today, we're demystifying the exact, sequenced, 9-month roadmap to take you from absolutely zero to a job-ready AI or machine learning engineer. You see, most people trying to ride this wave learn the wrong things in the exact wrong order. They'll jump straight into deep learning frameworks before they even understand basic Python. Or they'll just binge theory for months without writing a single line of code. We are definitely not doing that here. This is a highly specific month-by-month blueprint. Take this number, for example, a staggering 163% spike in machine learning and data science job postings from the year prior. Job postings actually hit over 49,000 in a single year. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's literally thousands of companies desperate for talent. It completely proves that this is a massive hiring wave, not just industry hype. There's real, tangible demand for people who can actually build and deploy these systems, provided you take the right approach to learning those skills. So to get you job ready, we're going to follow a very strict chronological blueprint. We'll cover Phase 1, the bedrock; Phase 2, deep learning specialization; Phase 3, the AI frontier; Phase 4, deployment and jobs; and finally, salary and long-term success. And I'll be warning you along the way against that chaotic, resource-hopping approach that usually wastes months of valuable time. All right, let's dive right into Phase 1, the bedrock. This covers months 1 through 3. And just to set expectations right out of the gate, this timeline assumes a realistic commitment of about 12 to 15 hours a week. Now, a lot of beginners quietly give up when they hit the math. Please, don't panic. Actually, scratch that. You really don't need a math degree. You just need these 3 specific intuitions translated into practical reality. Linear algebra isn't about memorizing complex rules. It's just understanding that every model runs on matrix operations under the hood. Probability and statistics matter simply because every single prediction your model makes is really just an estimate with a bit of uncertainty attached to it. And calculus? Look, you aren't going to be solving equations by hand. You just need to know that derivatives act as the compass for gradient descent, literally pointing the model in the direction of lower error. So how do you actually schedule those 12 to 15 hours? Well, here's what a realistic week actually looks like. Notice how you're spending the bulk of your time applying knowledge through projects. You've got 3 short sessions for learning and coding small examples, then 2 larger sessions dedicated purely to your monthly project. This is absolutely crucial because it forces you to deal with the real-world friction of debugging code. Finally, that 1 hour of review, it's critical. You use it to target exactly what still feels fuzzy rather than just vaguely rewatching video tutorials. By month 3, you'll be building your first classical machine learning projects. Let me save you from a massive mistake right now. Please, whatever you do, do not use the Titanic or Iris datasets. Recruiters literally roll their eyes because they've seen them thousands of times. Picking an industry-specific dataset, like something in healthcare, finance, or retail, forces you to think about the business context. And that is exactly what interviewers explicitly probe for. It gives you a real, specific story to tell rather than just walking them through generic tutorial code. Moving right along to Phase 2, deep learning specialization. This takes us through months 4 and 5. After thoroughly mastering classical ML, you finally earn the right to touch deep learning. The golden rule here: you must build a network from scratch first, using just NumPy. Get in there and understand what an activation function actually does and how backpropagation updates the weights. Why? Because suffering through that specific exercise is exactly what makes frameworks like PyTorch actually make sense later on. And by the way, PyTorch is for sure the definitive framework to focus on right now. It absolutely dominates both research and industry adoption. In month 5, you're going to face a critical myth versus reality moment where you have to pick exactly one lane to specialize in. Trying to learn computer vision and natural language processing at the same time, that is how you end up mediocre at both. Pick one. However, given where the job market is heading right now, leaning toward NLP and transformers is definitely the smartest move. It's got the strongest hiring demand and feeds perfectly into the next phase of our roadmap. Okay, welcome to Phase 3, the AI frontier, covering months 6 and 7. This represents the absolute highest leverage period in our journey, moving past the basics and right into the cutting edge. In month 6, your focus shifts entirely to large language models and the transformer architecture. You absolutely must conceptually grasp how attention mechanisms solve problems for models like GPT. You have to understand why self-attention lets these models process long-range context so effortlessly. Wrapping your head around this architecture fundamentally shifts your prompt engineering from casual, trial and error guessing to a strict, structured engineering discipline with real testing and evaluation. And because you now understand that architecture, building your first RAG or Retrieval Augmented Generation project in month 6 is your next essential step. Think of RAG as connecting an LLM's brain to an external knowledge base so it can answer questions using custom, private documents. Knowing how to build this is exactly what keeps your skills relevant past 2023 era machine learning. It proves you know how to make AI actually useful for a specific business. Now, listen closely to this next part because it's a real game changer in today's market. Workflow automation and agent-based systems. These aren't just niche skills anymore. They're a baseline expectation for AI roles right now. In month 7, you need to learn how to build AI agents that don't just answer prompts, but actually call tools, query databases, and chain multiple complex steps together to complete a full workflow. Master the underlying patterns here, not just the library syntax. That'll probably change next week anyway. All right, home stretch. Phase 4, deployment and jobs. Months 8 and 9. We pivot entirely here, shifting from building models locally to shipping them out into the real world. A model that only runs in a Jupyter notebook is not a product. Man, that quote is a harsh reality check, isn't it? But it's true. A notebook is an experiment, it's not a product. In month 8, you have to learn to containerize your models with Docker, serve them as APIs using FastAPI, and monitor them for performance degradation. Interviewers are going to be actively looking for this. You have to prove you understand real production pipelines and how to use at least one cloud platform to get a model live. When month 9 hits, it's portfolio time. Before you apply anywhere, run every single one of your 4 to 5 core projects through this incredibly strict 5-point rubric. Is the business framing right at the top? Are your data cleaning steps visible? Did you explain what didn't work and show those alternative rejected approaches? Be completely honest about your limitations. Overselling is a massive red flag. And finally, for the love of coding, make sure your project actually runs easily for anyone who clones your repository. Throughout this whole 9-month journey, you're going to be tempted to take shortcuts. Just don't. Naming these specific, common technical mistakes right now is going to save you weeks of confusion. Don't skip data cleaning just to jump straight into the fun modeling part. Always use cross-validation instead of a simple train test split. Never, ever copy a deep learning architecture if you can't explain exactly why it's shaped that way. And remember, treat prompting as a real engineering discipline, not a guessing game. Finally, let's wrap up with Phase 5, salary and long-term success. This is all about the true payoff of this intense 9-month journey. You know, people always fixate on the entry-level salary, but honestly, that's the least interesting number here. The entry-level salary simply gets your foot in the door. The real story is your trajectory. 2 to 3 years in, after you've proven you can keep models healthy in production under real-world constraints, your compensation takes a meaningful jump. And by year 5, that's when deep specialization in areas like MLOps, LLM infrastructure, or applied research massively out-earns the generalists. The supply of genuinely experienced people in those niches is tiny compared to the demand. This is a demanding path, no doubt about it, but it is highly specific, completely structured, and entirely finishable if you stick to the roadmap. So, the only questions left for you are, what area will you claim as your specialty in the coming years, and when does your 9-month journey officially begin?